So I understand you have some questions for me.
Are you sure that you want to hear these questions?
Okay. Yeah. If I started a cult, first, what would it be called? And then would you join it?
Your next favorite podcast pick starts now. Here's the Professor and Heather Ann.
Welcome to the Professor and Heather Ann. Although we don't have all the answers, we hope to encourage and excite you. We're here sharing our lives to inspire you to make the most of the second half of your life.
In this episode, we're going to talk about relationship goals. We've already talked about how important it is to express feelings, to tell your partner how much you love them and how grateful you are for them being in your life, and that is very important. But for married couples, or even couples that are cohabiting but not married, there's a lot more to the relationship than feelings. There's the sort of like the practical details of getting things done,
Everyday life,
and also the communication and the exceptional parts of life too, and things like trips. And so it just intuitively, it seems obvious that an important part of keeping a relationship healthy is to set goals and then monitor your progress in achieving those goals. It turns out there's actually psychological research that shows that this is true. And so I just read this study by some people in Hungary. The title of this paper is Flourishing Together, the Longitudinal Effect of Goal Coordination on Goal Progress and Life Satisfaction in Romantic Relationships. And so they surveyed these people over the course of a year and found that the couples that both set goals and then and monitor their progress and obtain those goals report higher satisfaction as a result.
So this is our first year setting goals. We have never set goals as a couple before. I personally have set goals for many years. It's something that for business, they taught for business, but started doing it more and more for just life in general the last 10 years. We've been married a year and a half, officially over a year and a half now. And we've been together for over 3 years. Neither one of us set goals with our previous spouses. Mm-hmm. So what did you think when I brought this to you and said, this is what we're going to do? What do you think about it?
It was surprising and perplexing and sort of a head scratcher. And so it took a while for me to get accustomed to this idea. But now I think it's really important. And so, like, what would you say that our first major goal that we set as a couple?
It would probably have to be our wedding.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
We did not obtain the goal of staying on budget for the wedding because we went way over budget. Neither one of us really had a true big ceremony or anything, or a religious ceremony with our previous marriages. So apparently I was not prepared for how much everything cost. And then also you were very specific on what you wanted for a wedding. And so that just kept driving the cost up. But I don't think you've ever officially looked at all the bills.
No.
But it did turn out the way that we wanted and what we had envisioned. Because honestly, it was something hard for me. I'm a numbers person. So I need to visually see things to bring things to life. And when you were like, I would like a traditional ceremony, let's have a fun reception, all of that stuff, it actually made me nervous. And it's like, am I going to be able to pull this off? But together we did. Together we brought it all together, and we wound up having a wonderful ceremony and reception that people still talk about it to this day.
Yes, even people who generally don't like weddings,
correct,
have said how much they enjoyed
our wedding. And it was lighthearted, it was fun, and it was just slightly different. So I think that was probably our first goal.
And you could see that as like, it's a good test, right? Because, young people getting married, often the parents, traditionally the parents of the bride, do a lot of the organizing. But, getting married later in life, you have to do the organizing yourself.
You have to figure it all out.
A whole lot of detail, and things that go wrong, and have to be set right.
But also on top of that, I wound up planning a whole week of activities and stuff for our families, because we had a lot of family that was coming in from out of state. Your mother's older, so I had to come up with things for the girls to do and have some fun, and then come up with some ideas for the men to do on their own. So it really, and then we had everybody staying in one hotel. So it really, I would say that was definitely our first goal of making something happen and bringing our vision to reality.
Yes. How do you say that our goals have changed just in the, like, goals that we have now that are really important now that were not important I think start?
Last year for 2025, we didn't set any goals. This is our first year, 2026. And I think we were just kind of like, because the first 2 years of our relationship, we bought a house, we got married, we went on this fantastic honeymoon, almost like 2 weeks in Eastern Europe, that I think we were just exhausted last year. We just need to make it through the year. And this year, we really had to, when we sat down to decide to do this, we really had to sit down and come up with some really goals that would fit both of our needs. Because the other issue that we have is that you're retired and I am not. So sometimes you're able to go do some things and maybe plan some vacations and stuff that at the time I can't do. Mm-hmm. So that was, so I'm really excited about the goals that we have set for ourselves this year.
Okay. And ready to share some of them? So this episode is dropping in late February, but so these are goals that we set at the beginning of 2026.
So I got us this little fancy dancy book because
once you have a book like that, then you're committed.
Once you write things down, you're committed to it. But also because that's what I do. I'm a person, I have to write things down. I'm not the type of person to just put things in my phone. I'm a hardcover kind of person. So some of the things that we came up with is, it's more about moving. So we're building a new house. We're moving to another state. That in itself is quite a feat, and all the things that have to be accomplished to make that happen. But we're building a custom home. So our number one goal is to stay on budget of that custom home. So that was a very easy goal.
That was an obvious goal.
That was like the number one, we're going to stay on budget. We already have building a shop and an apartment inside it, and we've already kind of gone over budget on that, just for unforeseen things like grading and the foundation and those type of things. But keeping a budget for 2026, mainly because we're building the house. So a lot of funds are going into that. Gardening and prepping land and cleaning up the land once we move there, because we were able to buy a little bit of land, help some family members with some things that they need, have a really big Thanksgiving.
So we want to be all settled in the new house and ready to host guests for Thanksgiving.
Cook more together. Our kitchen now is not conducive to necessarily two cooks in the kitchen.
No, we try that. We run into each other.
We run into each other. So in the new house, we'll have a bigger kitchen, and that was part of having a bigger kitchen when we designed the house so that we could do more cooking together. For now, and I'm enjoying it. I absolutely love it. All the ladies out there, he cooks pretty much all of our meals. So if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be eating. Not that I don't know how to cook. I'm actually a very good cook. But I'm enjoying this reprieve of not having to worry about what we have every day for dinner.
But we do enjoy cooking together. And when we first started going out and you lived in that rented house, we could cook,
and we did enjoy doing that for sure. Our anniversary trip, we like to travel, but due to building the house, we're not going to be able to travel as much this year. So next year we'll set some different goals for getting in some.
In 2027 we want to do some international travel. But we can't.
But we can't do that this year. So we'll be able to. We want to do like 3 weekends away for the year, a date night every week. And then what I liked about this book was that in the book it already had some
suggestions,
100 things to experience together. So we'll just be every month picking a few of those to make sure that we stay on track for that goal. And going to services, that's a really big thing for us as well, making sure we're going to services.
And it says, how often is the goal?
We put at least once a month.
At least once
we would like to go a little bit more. And that can include, regular services, but it could be events and things that are happening at the congregation that we could do that. So a lot of ours are really about that kind of thing, budget, what we plan on doing once we get moved to Virginia, some things we can't share, and just more family, being able to have more family cooking together. We probably have like 5 of them. Stay on budget, stay on budget, stay on budget. So that is a major thing for us for the house.
And do we have any sort of, mechanism in there for like monitoring, checking that that we are achieving these goals? Or are we just going to wait till the end of 2026?
No, we need to, number one, I think, at least from what I've learned and from friends who do this on a regular basis, because again, it's our first time doing this, is that you have to have regular check-ins. One of the things that we will be doing is putting down what our dates are, what we're doing for specific dates. Like in a couple of weeks, we're going to jazz. We're going to listen to some jazz at the jazz club. And so then I specifically got this book so that we can prompt us to go in and write about it and talk about the date and different things afterwards. So you definitely have to have you can't wait till the end.
Right.
That's like telling our builder to, here's a check, just make it work. I hope it works, and let us know if we have any money left over at the end. So you have to definitely plan to have regular check-ins and put those on the calendar.
Yes.
So we have to, and that's one of the things that we started doing last year is we have 2 different calendars. So we have the calendar that we do together. We have my business calendar in my office, but we have the family calendar that puts all the other stuff. So we'll be putting on the calendar specific times of the month where we do a check-in to make sure that we're accomplishing our goals.
Yes. Yes. It's a whiteboard calendar, and it's a thing, right? But before the beginning of each month to, wipe it clean and put everything the next month on there.
Which is what I need to keep in track and making sure I'm not double booking things for business or, we've got jazz planned, the night for jazz, and making sure I'm not scheduling something for business on that. Our priorities have changed some. when we first started dating and even when we first got married, traveling was a very high priority on our list, partly because of we had already bought a house. We wanted to do international travel, plus, travel around the country. But I think that's changed for us. The whole moving to Virginia and building a house and all of that has only happened within the last year. It wasn't something that we truly expected to happen. And we even, when we bought the land and said, hey, this is what we're going to do, we thought that we probably wouldn't even be building until 2027. So that has drastically changed for us, which then causes us to put some of our travel plans
to sort of push them back.
Yes.
That we'll do those. We'll make those trips eventually. So what would you say are some? Because I would say most of our goals are the sorts of things that both of us are independently enthusiastic about. But there are a few where it feels more like one of us is, making a concession to the other one.
Are you trying to get at your door?
Yeah, so there's the door.
The door. You love talking about your door. So, yes, I made the mistake of showing you this door, and you fell in love with this door, and we're making it work to where this will be our front door. And it is a hand-carved door that is, what is it?
First, it's made by a company called the Art Factory,
yes,
which is based in Arizona. And they do doors, but they do other things too. But these are handmade objects, hand carved, right? And so this is just one of the many doors that they offer. And I think they also will do sort of custom, right? They'll do custom
do
things.
anything.
Yeah.
They'll customize any door for you.
So this door is it's a replica of the doors of Durin, the doors to the west gate of the Mines of Moria in Lord of the Rings. And
I must really love you because I have no idea what you just said. I know you've said it lots of times. I know that we have had a Lord of the Rings themed wedding, but I have never read the books
or even see the movies.
I've never seen the movies, so it's just not something that appeals to me. But
you're looking around the internet and say, "Oh, look at this, Joe."
Look at this, and that was it. So we're building the house around this door. But it is truly a beautiful door. I mean, it's a work of art, and
you ensure it as a work of art.
And it's not something I would like. We were specific. That's what started the whole thing on what I would like for a door. I wanted a solid wood door. So that kind of started the whole thing. It wasn't like we just let's do a Lord of the Rings door. So
that's right.
I'm excited about having a one-of-a-kind type door that's going to be something very special on our house because this is our retirement house. We have no plans of moving again. So, but that is definitely one goal that is more directed at you than it is for me.
And the main goal that is more something you want to do that I'm going along with is on our list of places to travel is Iceland.
I'm very obsessed with Iceland.
And so how did you become obsessed with Iceland?
I actually, several years ago, probably more than before COVID, so it had to be 6-7 years ago, had a client that was from Iceland. And I just started I don't know. I just want to be able to say I've been to Reykjavik. I don't know why I've become obsessed with it, but it is something. I know it's not a place that you necessarily.
It would not be on my,
but that is one of
the
next international trips that we will take. So it is. So couples' goals are not. There is some compromising.
Yes,
because each of you have to bring something into it. into the relationship, and we each have to work on these goals together. So there is a little bit of compromising. Goals next year are obviously going to be very different than what they are for this year, and we're pretty specific on the goals this year because of the move. And it's really just making sure that all plays out. There's so many moving parts, even to just get us to Virginia, but also to get the house built, and your mother will be coming and living with us. So even that is just...
It's a huge operation. And so I would say that of those goals, maybe like about a quarter of them have to do.
They all have to do with the move and coordinating things. And, I would say that this year was pretty easy for us to set those goals.
Yes, it was, constrained by this.
By what is already happening in the areas. So one of the reasons why I truly brought this to you is I've just seen where couples have done this. I've seen what it's helped with their marriage. And one of the things that we talk about quite often, and especially from the beginning, was doing things differently in our marriage than we had previous. It takes two people to be in a marriage, and it's not a 50-50 thing. We've been married before. We're not blind to that sometimes somebody is 80% and somebody's 20%. But that was one thing that we really are dedicated to, is working on things together and continue building our relationship.
Communicating honestly, and so saying about something, well, I will do that. I'll do that for you. It's not necessarily something I would do. But the point is, it all needs to be brought out in the open and discussed openly. If you just sort of drift along and day to day and hope that both partners will be pleased with the way things are going, that's not very likely to work.
It's not very likely, and we learned that in our previous marriages.
Exactly.
So that is what's driving us. Everybody has their own reasons, but whatever your reason, I definitely recommend that you want to set some goals. And it doesn't, we have several. We probably have 20. Again, majority of them are with the house, but definitely, even if it's just a couple of goals, to make it through the year. And those goals are going to change, I'm assuming, because we'll be able to accomplish some things because of things that happen. We might have to add a few extra things to them, or, it's going to be great when we can cross certain goals off.
That's right. And we have, in addition to the couple goals, we each have individual goals.
Individual goals.
So, for example, my major hobby is playing the recorder. And so I have some goals, pertaining to that, which, don't really concern you, but
I still like to, you still have to share that with the other partner.
Yes.
Because they need to help you. One of them is we're moving. So you have a local group here that you're a part of and you go play with every month, but you won't have that. So you now have to search for a whole new group.
That's right.
One of the things for me is business, is that I'm going to continue in doing mortgages, and I'll still be licensed here in Oklahoma and the other states that I have licenses in, but I have to go rebuild a whole new business in Virginia. So I'm going to need your help on that, because I have to go out and do more business stuff than I have been doing the last few years.
Right.
So it's mainly just supporting each other and making sure we move forward in our relationship. What do you think keeps our connection strong?
What keeps our, there are two things that keep our connection strong, I think, is that we make sure to spend time communicating and spend intimate time. We don't let those things go We don't like get, wrapped up doing other stuff that takes us away from those things. Like those things are, they have to be done. And the other thing is what we're talking about, which is communicating about projects and projects. It sounds like it's work, but it's not all. It can be leisure sorts of things too. But that we're very intentional, what we're doing and when we're doing it.
And some of the things that we're very intentional day in and day out is we usually try to do coffee. We can't always, but coffee in the morning and talk about things and then at bedtime is when we have a lot of deep conversations, or we're just saying things to each other like, very thankful God brought you into my life and feel very blessed. So that's kind of how we end our day every single day.
We eat all our meals together. When we're both in the house, we never just one of us just eating them by themselves at the counter. We don't do that.
No, we sit down at the table and have our dinners.
Put the phones down.
Put the phones down, which is one of our goals is for this year is less phone time. So learning to schedule that in, because I do things on social media and stuff that I do have to take care of. So, but that'll be more scheduled this year.
Right.
What else is... We actually have a pretty good balance between couple and independence. So one of the things that I guess we did kind of set some goals before, not any definite, but one of the things when we got married or before we got married was that we would be able to travel with our children. It's important that we do traveling on our own, but whether I want to go to a girls' weekend or at the end of next month I go to a yoga retreat. You were just in Germany with your daughter.
Yeah.
I do baseball with my younger son, so we go to a lot of different baseball games. So it was important that we do. That was something that we set up from the very beginning, that it was important that we were able to travel together and travel separately. And it's worked out really well.
Yes. So I understand you have some questions for me.
Are you sure that you want to hear these questions?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and do these questions. If I suddenly became famous on social media, what would it be for?
Well, that's not that difficult to answer, since you may be on the verge of becoming famous on social media. It's for your story and how you have thrived and flourished in spite of a very challenging background.
So it wouldn't be for like anything crazy, like somebody caught me driving crazy down the road, or
no,
no instant.
I think maybe at an earlier point in your life that. Of course, there wasn't video or social media at that time.
And I'm very thankful for that, because there is a lot of things that could have been caught on video for sure that I did. That's a whole nother episode. Which personality trait of mine do you secretly brag about to others, and which personality trait do you warn them about? Can't wait for this answer.
Okay. The personality trait that I brag about is that how honest and forthright you are. That how I know what you're saying to me, you mean it, and things that, and conversely, there aren't things you're hiding from me. What you see is what you get.
That could be bad too. Because some people...
some people would prefer that.
Some people, I come on too strong or something, because I'm just a matter-of-fact kind of person that these are the facts. So So what would you consider one you would warn people about?
Well, okay, in a way, it's the same thing. that you can expect that Heather will criticize things that need criticizing. So in a way, it's the same trait, but
I don't know if I guess it does come across as criticizing. Maybe it's just observing something. Like, we had that problem when we first started dating because I was getting to know you and I ask a lot of questions. So then you would do something and I'd be like, well, why did you do it that way?
And then I took this as criticism.
And you took it as criticism, but it was me trying to figure out, why are you doing something that way? So that I learn your little quirks and habits and things like that, and something that wouldn't bother me later on down the road because I wasn't understanding the meaning behind it. So, but I could see that. Okay.
Well, I want to turn asking a question.
No, I'm going to ask mine first. If we were trapped in an elevator for 10 hours, what would we do? Why are you turning red?
I'm not going to answer that question.
You have to answer the question. Some of it would be sleepy, because what happens when I get around you and I have this thing that I instantly fall asleep when
I would still be able to calm you even trapped in an elevator.
Yes, 100%.
That's very good.
Which one of us would be more freaked out being trapped?
Me.
Definitely you. I might have to be calming you, but then after I calm you down, then I would be like, okay, I'm tired now. I need to lay down and take a nap. And that has to do with, not that I, have narcolepsy or anything like that. That just has to do with how safe and everything I feel around you, and just something I've never had in my life until you came. Not that I was not in safe situations before, but it's just something. You calm my soul, and so it's easier for me to fall asleep and all of that. So, among other things, there would probably be some sleeping. I mean, it's 10 hours. There's a lot you to do in 10 hours.
Yeah, of course.
But we have great conversations.
Oh yeah. We could. We would not get bored with each other.
I don't think we would. If I were a car, what make and model would I be? And why?
I think you would be a. See, I don't know cars that well, but you would be a sport coupe. Okay, not a sports car, but a sport coupe.
Something that's fast.
Something that's fast and accelerates fast.
Accelerates fast. Can help me weave in and out.
Maneuverable on. Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I like to drive fast.
It would be red.
I like red. What is something I do that you secretly love?
Oh, I don't know if there's anything that I because everything about you that I love, I tell you about. So I don't know. Well,
share with our listeners. What is something that I do that you really like? And keep it clean.
I like the way that at least once a day you say, "I'm crazy about you."
Okay.
That's very special.
What is the most distracting thing about me?
Well, the most distracting is well, actually, I'm not. Okay, now I'm not sure what the question means. You mean that distracts me from doing other things so that I pay attention to you instead of the other things? Is that what the question means?
I think it could go either way. Something that is distracting that prevents you from doing things, or something I do that just kind of makes you go, okay, stop, I need you to stop.
Well, yes, I think we've already talked about how sometimes you ask for contradictory things. You ask for different things at the same time. And then I have to ask for, well, which of those things do you want me to do first?
So basically my ADHD, when I'm like saying, oh, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Can you do that? And then you have to stop me and go, which Which thing do you want me to do first?
So you're in a state of distraction, and then you're sort of like, transmitting the distraction to me.
That's a distraction for you.
Yes.
Okay, what's your questions?
Okay. What is one thing you think I would pack in an apocalypse bag, even if it didn't make any sense?
Your recorder. I can see you packing your recorder, and I would ask, why are you packing that? And you'd be like, well, we need music. Zombies are chasing us. And to calm us down, I might need to play some music. I could totally see you doing that.
Absolutely. It would be
and
difficult.
It's compact. So.
Well, there's four.
It would have to be the smaller ones.
The soprano.
So, but I could totally, and I'd be, we're bugging out, and we've got to throw everything together, and you would grab that. I can see you grabbing that.
I think you're absolutely right.
And maybe a Lord of the Rings book, because you would be like, what happens if they destroy all the books? Then we still have one book left. We still have a very important book left.
If I started a cult, first, what would it be called? And then would you join it?
I don't know what it would be called. It's something Lord of the Ring-ish or Harry Potter-y, Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or something. But it would definitely involve a lot of nerds. And so, yes, I would definitely join that, because it would be a lot of fun. Because I've been getting to know the academic world through you and the different professors and stuff that...
Oh, so you think the academic world is a little bit cultish?
Oh, very much so. Hope that doesn't get me in trouble. But yes, it's a whole different world. And I don't think people understand how different it is until you've been in it. I was shocked. I had this imaginary idea in my head. And so the very first time I went to a conference with you, it was not anything I expected whatsoever. But it was fun, and the people are amazing, and the conversations are just off the charts. And I would definitely join the cult of nerds, uprising, coming together. I would definitely join that for sure.
It would not be Harry Potter. I know the Harry Potter books very well because I read them aloud to my daughter, each of them probably 4 or 5 times. There was a time when, I had large chunks of them memorized. Not that I tried to, involuntarily memorized. It doesn't.
Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I think what you'll have to do is, because you communicate with several other academics, you have different groups that you chat with and stuff. So I think you'll have to ask them what would be the name of your cult. And I think that Daniel would probably be the best person to ask.
Oh, yeah.
He would come up with a great name. But I would definitely join that cult. I think it would be a lot of fun.
Thank you. That's good to know. All right. And so you asked me this question, but I'm returning it to you. So if I were a car, what make and model would I be, and why?
Honestly, it's changed since we've been together. So
for the better.
For the better. So the first car you were, and you actually drove it, but it just seemed fitting for some reason. I don't know why. You were a Honda. You were a Honda, not a Civic, what?
Accord.
Accord. You were a Honda Accord. And that car was totally wrong for you.
This is my ex and I bought this car together in 2016.
But something that our listeners should know, You're a safe driver, but you're not the best driver in the world. This is something we've talked about openly. It is out there now. I'm sharing it. And I was very worried because like our third or fourth date, you even had cameras and you still hit a curb as you turned the corner. So the car you would be today, and by the way, it was just a year ago, we got you out of the Honda and you're like in a little SUV that fits you better. But the car that I truly think that fits you better, that you would be, is a Tesla. It just seems to fit you. It just has all the proper things to help keep you safe. I guess. I kind of feel like a Tesla kind of like puts a bubble around you. That may not be the right way.
But also, you think it's like the stylish nerd car? Is that
it
part
is.
of it?
It is 100% a nerd car, and I think a Tesla would probably be what you were. Yes, but you were a Honda, and since you started dating me, you're now a Tesla. So that says something, right?
One of my younger relatives has told me that I've become so much more cool
since you've been with me.
Since I've been with Heather.
That is true. You've actually been told that by multiple people that you've.
It's the consensus opinion.
You're much cooler with me.
Yeah.
So a Tesla.
Okay.
For sure, because it's safer.
But it also goes real.
But we're moving out to the country. A Tesla will not.
No.
It's not practical for us.
Exactly.
So for now, you just drive a little. And you have yet to drive a truck. You want to drive a truck. So we're going to have to see how you do it.
I will need lessons in driving a truck.
So we're just going to have to take the time, and you're going to have to go driving with my son, who has a truck that sits up. It's extended cab and all of that stuff, and see how you do with that. So I'm sorry, but the truth is, but you have improved in your driving.
That's one.
You've become a better driver since moving here to Oklahoma. I still don't know how you drove around Los Angeles. But you're cautious. You're a safe driver. So that's important.
So, okay. So, all right. Well, if we're going to talk about this, so Heather says, and I'm on a freeway, and I get behind someone who's driving too slow. They're driving 55 in a 65 mile an hour zone. You'll just keep
stay behind them. And I have to remind you, you could pass them. You're allowed to pass on the freeway. But then, in all fairness, because you grew up in California and I grew up in California, so we both learned how to drive in California. Though as a teenage, young adult, you didn't drive as much as I did. I was, moved down to Los Angeles, so I was driving. So
between ages 18 and 34,
you didn't do much driving.
The only driving I did really was in Costa Rica doing the biological field work with my ex, and that was driving late 70s model Toyota Land Cruisers. But there was almost no traffic. I mean, there were some challenges to it, but it wasn't. It was almost like the opposite of driving in LA traffic.
And at that age, I was in Los Angeles and driving, the 405 in the canyons, and doing LA traffic. So I had to learn how to drive. So I do have a tendency to drive maybe a little too fast. And the first time I really drove long distance, and we were on the 405, when the first trip we took to California, I scared you. You actually screamed. Because I was going about 90, the flow of traffic, which is what you're supposed to do in Los Angeles. We were in the what's that fast lane?
Carpooling.
The carpooling lane. And I'm driving and everything's fine. And all of a sudden this car comes up, whizzing by us and pulls in front of us. And you literally screamed. So the good thing is you drive better and you don't scream anymore when I drive. So
that's right.
We're
we've
good
reached
on
a
that.
driving equilibrium. Yes.
What about some of our goals for, obviously we have these very specific goals, but we have goals about health and continue working out and cleaning up our diet. About travel, we plan on doing some more traveling and all of that maybe next in 2027, not so much this year. Going to services, our spiritual life, our financial and life shifts, our family and legacy goals. What would you say is some, I think building something that we can pass down to our children, but one of the...
I want to write something to pass on to my daughter. I'm saying like a private thing, just like reflections I want to share with her. That's a goal I have.
And mine is, I've worked hard to change my family's histories for my boys. So getting books published and leaving that more of a legacy for them of this is where we came from, but this is where we are. That's really important to me.
So we've been talking about ourselves, but like, what advice would you want to give to other couples who may feel stuck, like the relationship's not moving forward or disconnected from each other?
To really sit down and take that time to have some meaning conversation. Sometimes I know we're fortunate, you're retired, our kids are grown, but sometimes for younger couples that still have kids at home or kids in college, then sometimes they might need to, I know I've heard of different couples scheduling a weekend away to where this is what their primary goal. They bring all the papers and they, make the goals and stuff, but they kind of isolate themselves so that there's no distractions.
Like a retreat.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things. We have the benefit of that we know the mistakes. We don't know all the mistakes we made, but we understand a lot of the mistakes we made in our first marriages so that we openly communicate that and talk about that. And so for other couples that are going into late in life relationships or second marriages, I think that's the priority needs to be is we're going to have open communication and set goals together. Needs to be a priority to keep moving your relationship forward. And one of the other things that we both decided on is, even if we're going to bed mad or something like that, we're not sleeping in separate rooms. We're not starting that, which happens a lot in marriages that are no longer moving forward or falling apart or for whatever reason. That was something that we made from the very beginning, that we agreed upon, that we wouldn't be sleeping in separate rooms.
Even if one of us has a bad cold and is sniffling and coughing.
Yes.
That's right.
So I think those are important things that that couples really need to, again, it's communication more than anything. Thanks for joining us on another episode. This one, we were a little vulnerable and personal.
Yes.
Thrown in with some laughter. We often laughed a lot in our marriage.
We often laugh together. We find things funny that probably no one else would.
We invite you to reflect or set 3 goals with your partner for this year. We encourage you to share your goals on our Facebook page. Search The Professor and Heather Ann.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode in which we've talked about how goals change as we grow together, how to set realistic goals, keep your relationship fresh and fun, and the importance of dreaming together.
Whether you've been together for 5 years or 3 years like we have, or 40 years, setting shared goals can strengthen your connection, ignite fresh energy, and keep love purposeful.
Yes. So join us here each week, my friend. You're sure to get a smile. From lessons learned to mishaps, the adventures go on for miles. Here on
The Professor and Heather Ann.
Thank you for listening to The Professor and Heather Ann.